Oh, hey, no walk and talk today, no nature, except right there. There's a bit of nature. I drove to Green Bay today, and then drove back. I drove to Green Bay, interviewed a Green Bay Packer historian, went around Green Bay a little bit, got some footage, B-roll, as the kids call it, which I already have. I have lots of B-roll of Green Bay, but I got more. And then, like, for instance, the green and gold fire hydrants and the green and gold dumpsters. I don't think they're the only place that has green and gold dumpsters, but I just thought it's fun. And then I drove back. And so it was a full day, but like a weirdly full and empty day because it was a lot of driving and not a lot of what I usually work on. And so I'm back, and I didn't have a chance to do this thing. So here we are. I'm just gonna, it seems like a lot of you really like these videos, but you probably, I mean, part of it is the walking outside and the nature and the soothing aspect of that. So I apologize that that's not this time. Hey, you can't win them all, okay? But I'll just respond to some comments here. By the way, if you're hearing anything in the background, Bunny is chewing on a chewy treat thing. And I apologize for that as well. This is just the apology video. I'm sorry. Here's the thumbnail. I'm sorry. Sorry. Okay. Let's respond to some comments. I have not planned what I'm going to respond to, what I'm going to read. I haven't even read them all. I read a bunch of the top ones on the last video, but not all of them. So let's see. Are you shooting all this on your phone? If so, which phone? Because damn, the zoom is impressive. This is my phone. Yeah, I've been shooting all of these on the phone. The latest iPhone. The Pro version of the, I think it's the iPhone 14. There was an edit. China's coming out. She's doing bedtime with Ada. And I thought maybe she was coming out. Usually the routine is she comes out or I come out. We switch off bedtimes every night. And then we come out, we watch something. Lately we've been keeping up on Mrs. Maisel, Ted Lasso, Taskmaster, Schmigadoon. Well, we're a little behind on Schmigadoon. Barry, a little behind on Barry. And I'm keeping up on Succession. She's not watching Succession. And what else? I feel like I'm forgetting something. Those are the ones we're watching these days. But that's generally our routine in the evenings. It's like the only time we have together by ourselves, and we don't really have much energy to do anything else. So at some point she might come out here, and then I'll just stop. But anyway, yes, it's the iPhone 14, I think. Yeah. And what iPhone are we on? Are we on 14 or 15? I think we're on 14. I couldn't remember. Yeah, I think because I remember looking up which phone to get and seeing that the next one was coming out soon, but my phone the charger outlet was kind of not working sometimes, so I had to get a new one. I had an iPhone 11. I jumped from an 11 to 14. I was going to wait to get the 15, but I think it's the 15. That's why I'm confused by the two, if it was the one I was waiting for. But I had to get the 14 because the thing wasn't working. Anyway, yeah, it's a great camera. These cameras are fantastic. Now I'm in darker lighting and I'm using the facing camera now instead of the opposite side so that I can see myself. But you know what? Let's flip it around. I guess I'm going to be doing a little editing with this. All right, here's the other side. So this is the super wide. I tend to go super wide. Like this is like the default where the phone goes. But I tend to go super wide because I just like the look of it, and also it's much easier to make sure that I can't see it now, but it's much easier to make sure that I'm in the shot because it's super wide. But it can also zoom in super far. It can go whoop, even further. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I can go way in. and way out. These cameras are good, like, and the sound is pretty good, and like I think it's kind of, I find like little reason if you're just getting started to shooting video to even buy a camera if you have a phone, if you have a smartphone with a camera. Doesn't seem like you can just start. You already have it. Hey China, are you ready to watch something?
Nope.
Okay. Well, don't. But whenever you're ready, that's. So anyway, they're good. Putting in my 2 cents, I find the walkie-talkie vids very relaxing and appreciate them very much. And can also relate to being uncomfortable filming in front of people. If you ever find a trick to getting over this, please share it. Just do it a lot. Even then, I still don't get over it, but it's easier. And then in situations where like I have to shoot, like if I were doing like a sketch, which I haven't done in a while, where it's like there's a specific thing I have to do to get it done, I will do it. But if I'm performing, you just gotta go. Even today, shooting the fire hydrant in Green Bay, I had the bigger camera, and I was very paranoid about people watching me shooting a fire hydrant. Like, what are they gonna think? I've been outside shooting ridiculous things for so long, and that's never gonna go away. I don't know how to get over it, but I just do it. It does get easier the more you do it, but it's not great. Let's see. Would you rather run into a threatening turkey or a threatening goose? Probably goose, because I have run into threatening goose. I've been up close to geese hissing at me, and they didn't do anything. I survived. So I'm a little bit more used to that. Turkeys, kind of a bit of a wild turkey, a little wild card. Let's see. April Dawn Sunshine is talking about AI, about how everyone's freaking out, but they're really basically just fast search engines. And yeah, I do think there's legitimate concern as far as like replacing certain jobs, but I don't know. That's always a concern. That has been a concern for new technology all the time. A lot of people say, well, this time it's different because AI it's weird, and it is weird, and it's a little unsettling when you see what it's capable of. But I don't think it's quite as major as whenever I hear like this time is different, or whenever I want to say this time is different, I usually make that's a red flag. That's a red flag in my mind. Like, oh, it's probably not actually. Like, this time is different is a red flag that, oh, you're just thinking that something is going to be different. Think of all the other this times is different that people have said, and it wasn't. I mean, it is different. It's new, but it's not different new. It's like, it's another step in technology, I don't know. I think you might know what I'm saying. I don't know. I think there's legitimate concerns about it replacing jobs or changing jobs, but I don't think it's end of the world stuff that we need to truly worry about. I am supportive of the writer's strike in Hollywood, it's not just Hollywood, but the WGA writer's strike. One of their concerns is AI. I don't think that's their is that their primary concern? I'm not sure, but I'm supportive of them, and I think writers deserve more. If they think they deserve more enough that they have to go on strike, I support that. Anyway, I agree with everything you said. By the way, did you finish Tomorrow, Tomorrow, and Tomorrow? What did you think? I'm reading that book. Tomorrow. Is it Tomorrow, Tomorrow, and Tomorrow, or is it Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow? I'm still early days in that book. I haven't been reading it like every night. I've been reading it a bunch of nights here and there. Some nights I'm just tired, I fall asleep. Some nights I will read a short form, not a sponsor of this video, but of the main channel video it is. I'll read like a short form book because sometimes I just want to do that. And like legitimately, I enjoy doing that. It's not just because it's a sponsor. But partly it's also that the Tomorrow and Tomorrow Tomorrow is a analog book. It's an actual book. So I would have to pull out a little book light to read it, and it's just easier to use the phone to read short form, which I am quitting my smartphone technically. I'm making an exception for reading books, and I consider short form reading books. Anyway, I don't, because it's not social media. It's not going to draw me into a rabbit hole in a very unhealthy way. I think it's a positive. I know there's the whole issue of blue light. I have not found that to be true. I don't know that that's an actual problem, even though years ago The Good Stuff did a whole playlist about sleep videos. We actually went to Stanford. They have a whole sleep program. They have Dr. Dement, who was part of the discovery of REM sleep. We interviewed him. We interviewed lots of doctors. One of those doctors brought up blue light as an issue. So maybe there's something there, but I don't know. I'm skeptical that it's much of an effect. But anyway, everything you've ever done is original. It's the first time in history of the universe it is done by you. True. I did talk about originality. That is true. But that's like not really a consolation for people who are worried about being original all the time. I don't think that's enough. Anyway, thinking about geese is a trap, someone quoted and laughed. Did I say that? I don't remember if that's a quote for me or not. I guess so. What can I do that's useful? This is awesome. I have been stopping myself for years because of originality. This really speaks to my heart. I feel so stifled, and that's why. Yes, I do think it's a good thing to have in your head when you're worried about originality or about style or about specifics about a video, like equipment, and being professional, whatever. I think the main concern, the main motivation should be, what can I do that's useful? Useful. That should be number one. I think everything else, and useful is a little bit of a broad term. Like it could only, like, it could just be entertaining. It could just be funny. That's useful in some way. But I think that should be number one. It should be and it could just be useful for yourself. But number one should be what's useful. And another way of putting it is like, what purpose does this serve? And then after that, like, you can put some amount of energy into productivity, like, or professionalism, or originality, or style, or fidelity of your equipment, or whatever. After, is it useful? I think that should be number one, because you only have so much energy and time, and you can't do all of the things. You can't make every single aspect of the thing great. So I think you should put most of your energy in that first one. So anyway, I'm going to pretend you're my mom. This was a quote from what I said when a person was walking by, and I got self-conscious. So I pretended you were my mom I was talking to. And then I said goodbye, and I put the phone down. And they said, they quoted that, and then they said, "This was great that you didn't edit that part out when walking by a stranger. Amazing." I mean, one of the goals of these videos is do as little editing as possible, not just for the content's sake, but for my own sake. I don't really have the time. I don't want to take a lot of time to do this, because then I will not do it as much. Because this is talking about priorities again. This isn't the number one priority. What's useful about this is not making it shorter or professional. Again, what's useful about this is a hangout, a friendly, unedited conversation, which I think people find refreshing and calming. And so that's number one. And then I'm not going to worry about editing out those things, because I don't have the time or energy, because I have other videos to work on. This isn't the only video. So you only have so much time, so you got to draw the line somewhere. And then I said, I'm gonna pretend to be your mom. So then someone responded to their comment, "It's always great to hear from our son, isn't it? They grow up so fast. I wish he'd call more, or heaven forbid, visit from time to time." All right, commenter. I'm not going to try to pronounce your name. I'll visit. Well, I'll call. All right. Thanks, Mom. Let's see. Well, I think that's probably enough for now. This has been a fun, because I think China's probably going to come out here pretty soon. This has been a fun little hangout. I do have to do a little editing now, because I had to stop the camera, and then I also had to switch cameras. So that's 2 cuts. That's 2 edits. That's fine. It's totally fine. Thank you guys for hanging out. Sorry for no nature, except for what's out there. I can't see what you see now because I'm using the other camera. Here, let me do this. All right. Yeah, and this camera doesn't look as good in low light right now. Like, I do think my bigger camera visually does have things about it that look better, but in regular daylight, I think it's hard to tell. I mean, you can tell from like lens distance and sound, and maybe the way it's being held, but it's a pretty good camera, you guys. Anyway, thank you. What's going on? I think I put up scheduled a new lettuce short again, if you want to check that out, and 2 guys talking about lettuce. And go Packers. Bunny.